Yeah. So, hello everybody. I wanted to talk to you about pedal boards. Seen a lot of videos on there about pedal boards. This is my pedal board. Before we go there, you don't need all of this stuff, okay? I have too much stuff, but I enjoy collecting it and stacking signals and stuff, so you don't need all of this, but this is what I have. So, I have my board laid out. I have my utility pedals over here, volume, and my wah pedal. Then I go through what I call my drive section, which is just the different distortions that I like. Then that comes down here and starts through the modulation pedals where we can add some stuff, and ends with some utilities with a looper and my tuners over there. So what we end up with is I have clean sound. Now these pedals by Visual Sound are two-channel pedals. So this one, the Route 66, has a compressor on one side and an overdrive on the other. I don't use compression much, but this is my lowest overdrive. So that's just barely up from a clean setting. And if you can, like we've talked before, if you can set it up where when you add your effects, the volume of your guitar stays about the same, that'll help your sound man out a lot. So that's my lowest one. Then over here, another Visual Sound pedal, Jekyll and Hyde, is an overdrive and a distortion. So this is my next most distorted sound. So it's got a little more dirt than the other one. Then to this one. And all of these are just flavors. Then you've got the old Ibanez Smashbox, which gives you a sound that is of no use in worship settings whatsoever because it's too metal. But I suppose some people might use it. If I was going to use it, I'd add a little reverb. But we don't do that at church very much, so that's not very handy. Now what I have here is the line driver, which what that gives me is a boost if it's time for a solo section. So let's say I had my stuff rigged up like normal in the middle of a song for a solo section, and normal volume is there. This is my solo switch. So all it does is take whatever I'm sending into it and then boost it up by the amount that's on that knob there. This next pedal in the line is actually a cool new pedal that just came out called the Overtone by Boss. You have a clean channel. Overtone is like an octave generator. So it adds octave layers that are happening underneath the chords you play. A little bit like a Pog almost would do. So since sometimes we don't have a keyboard player, I can turn that on and it adds some of those layers behind it. So that's Overtone. Hardwire has a reverb pedal, does exactly what you would think, just adds the spaciousness of like a studio reverb. That's dry. Just gives it that rounder. Then the H2O is another Visual Sound pedal. Tool channels, chorus on one side, echo on the other. I bought it because I love the chorus sound. Has a really nice wash to it. And I'm still deciding what I want to do with the echo side. Echo is like delay, but it doesn't have the ability to be tapped in. So it gives you the bounces, but they don't always happen in time with the song. So that's a little less than total useful. So I'm still figuring out what I want to do with that. Then I've got this Line 6 DL4. Great pedal, very versatile, 16 different delays in it. And I have mine set up where my first channel is just a basic digital delay sound. Just has one bounce to it. I've got my second one set up with a digital delay that's got another bounce with some modulation on the back. So you tap that out. And the cool setting here that most people don't know about is a setting on there called auto volume. And what it lets you do is create a keyboard swell without using any of your other pedals. You don't have to fade in. You can pick it and it takes the signal and just keeps building it back and gives you those worship fades that you need sometimes without having to work so hard. From there, we come out and go to a ditto looper that I use sometimes for practice and sometimes in worship, into the all-important tuner. Most people have tuners on the front of their rig. I have my tuner on the back of my rig because I can use it to mute everything that's going on, which I need to be able to do when I erase loops out of the ditto. Do we know how much time we've spent?
7 minutes.
Okay, so we can talk a little bit about stacking tones. When you have two overdrive pedals like I do, you actually can stack them and add another one on top. To get different textures you want. So if you have your tone, let's go with this one. Then you start stacking things on top. Little reverb. If I add my delay on there, if I wanted to go crazy, I could stack chorus on top. Like I was saying, if you have no keyboard player, you could kick your auto volume and be the keyboard player. Oh yeah. Now my favorite thing to do is actually if your worship leader wants to do a song about nature and animals in nature, then you have to be able to do the humpback whale sound. This is accomplished with reverb and your volume pedal. There you go. That's all you need to know about